Shalom, little crash. Somebody just called in.
Yeah, about sitting on the shop like a fire, young man Jamal.
Yeah, about some y'all shot Brakatha. What's up, man? You doing too wild?
That's the wall by the one you can walk.
Yeah, I'm too wild. We about to go ahead and get class started now. Shalom. Y'all about some y'all shot Brakatha to the brothers. Y'all shema by some y'all shot to the sisters. This is the Isupk Atlanta Tuesday Brotherhood class. So today we about to get into some Brotherhood scriptures. Before we start class, anybody got any questions? Everybody too wild. Nobody got no questions. All right, give me 1 second. We about to go ahead and start class. Today we're gonna be talking about the topic of how it's imperative, it's important to serve the Lord, man, and to not serve any other gods. You know what I mean? When you serve other gods, that's how we got into the conditions that we in. And a lot of people don't know what it means to serve another God. You understand? Like they think in their mind they can live they daily to daily life, and just because they don't go to church, then they not serving another God. According to the Bible, that's not true, man. You understand? So we're gonna get into these scriptures to show this. If you're gonna start me off in the posh with Deuteronomy 7:6.
Oh, God.
Just pull that when you got it and go ahead and start reading.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right. The Lord said now, everybody heard this verse before multiple times. This is one of the greatest verses in the Bible. You understand? This is one of the best. This is black supremacy right here in this verse right here. You understand? Read that from the top again.
Oh, God. For thou a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right. It says that thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Shalom, Lord Christ. Who just called in?
Sister Brenda.
You doing too well, sister?
Well, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing too well. Most High Christ. We starting here. We at Deuteronomy 7:6 right now. All right. Read that from the top again.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right. We are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. That means to be separate. You understand? We all know what the word holy means by now, which is to be separate. Keep going.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right. Now, what's important by that sentence that he just read? Is to be chosen. You understand? The Lord chose us out of everybody. You understand? So when you choose a people, what does that mean? That's a question. When you choose something, what does that mean?
So it shows them to be the greatest thing on earth, but all to do that, you gotta follow laws, statutes, commandments, and you gotta just serve the Lord. If you serve the Lord, you get the greatest reward. If you don't, you're just gonna get the bare minimum at the bottom.
Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? You want to it, but all right, let's say if you going out to buy a car and you choose a certain car. What just happened with that car?
Salagi, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it you choose that you choose something, move everything up?
That's true, but what happens to that car that you did choose? It's a specific word I'm looking for.
Salagi, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it that become your favorite?
I mean, that's why you chose it, but now that you done already chose it, what just happened to that car? Nobody want to take a chance?
Salagi.
Yeah, go ahead.
It becomes special?
You write online. You onto it, but online you answered it. It becomes yours, meaning it's a possession now.
Okay.
You understand? Like when the Lord chose us, we became the Lord's possession. You understand? It's like the Lord owns us now. You understand? He's over us. It's just like if you go to a store and you choose something. You know what I mean? You choose something you choose an iPhone over an Android. that iPhone becomes your possession. You understand? You become the owner of that. Shalom on Christ. Who just called them?
Brother Fitz from Atlanta.
All right, I got you.
Benjamin. This is my first time.
All right,
I'm an elderly man and a handicap. I'm a Benjamin.
All right, no sweat, man. Most High in Christ for calling in. Just put your phone on mute. You got any questions or comments on the class? Take it off. Say Salaki will get you in here. Shalom on Christ. Somebody else just called in?
Shalom on Christ. It's Tuba Call 1.
You doing too wild, man?
Khan, Adawan Khan. How you, Adawan?
Yeah, I'm doing too wild. Most High in Christ. We have Deuteronomy 7 and 6 right now. You understand? But when you choose something, it becomes your possession. So when the Lord chose us, we became the Lord's possession, man. You understand? That's why we relate to the Lord being our Father. You understand? Keep reading that verse, though.
Oh,
Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
For thou a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. It says the chosen to be a special people unto himself. That was the key to knowing that when he chosen it, it's to himself. You understand? Meaning that we're not supposed to be owned by nobody else. There ain't no nation that's supposed to be over us. You understand? Other than the Lord. Only person that's supposed to be over us is the Lord. You understand? Christ, who he said to be king upon over us, but the Lord is supposed to be the only one over us. But now we in a condition where we find ourselves that all the other nations is over us. You understand? It's because of what we did. It's because we decided that we wanted to serve other gods, which is imperative that we don't serve other gods. You understand? But the Lord chose us to be a holy people, a special people unto himself, to be above all the people on the face of the earth. You understand? So give me Deuteronomy 6 and 13. I'm asking the question, why shouldn't we follow other gods, man? You understand? Like, why? You gotta understand that the Lord chose us, you understand, to be our God. Even when you read out throughout the whole Bible, you always hear it say, the Lord your God. You understand? Like, it'll say your God or thy God. That's showing you as a possession. As it don't apply to all the other nations. It only applies to one nation. You understand? Like, the Lord is not the God of all the other nations. He could give a damn about them, man. You understand? That's why they live their life as a happy-go-lucky life. You understand? But give me that. Give me Deuteronomy 6 and 13. Why? Before you read it, why shouldn't we choose? Why shouldn't we? Like, we know that when we serve other gods, we end up getting punished for it, right? You understand? Like, the Lord is not over us. He'll turn his back from us. But why shouldn't we? You know what I mean? Serve other gods. Like, what makes the Lord turn his back on us?
Because we turned away from him.
Oh yeah, you right about that. But if you if you got an answer, just say Salakia first, and then you'll go ahead and answer. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, no problem. But you understand why? But yeah, it's because we turned our back on him. But I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. Okay, we know Shalom Christ. Somebody just called in.
Shalom, Yahweh, Yahweh, Barakatah. Young man Willie.
Shalom, Yabas Miyashah Brakatah. You doing too wild, man?
I'm doing too well. You doing too well?
Yeah, I'm doing too wild. Most High Christ. We have Deuteronomy 7 and 6. We about to go to 6 and 13. But you understand? Okay. When we turn our back on the Lord, how does the Lord feel about that? That'd be a better way to phrase the question. Go ahead.
It treats you like, he's your own son, because you chose him to, do special things in the world, but we turn it back on him. He's a judge God, so you gotta get punished for the wrong that you're doing, so make sure you be on the right path.
Right, and what you said about that was absolutely right. He's a jealous God, man. That's why. You understand? That's why you shouldn't serve no other lords, because the Lord's a jealous God. If the Lord wanted to, he could allow you to serve other gods and still hold you up. You know what I mean? He could just not care. But the Lord, it specifically said the Lord, your God, is a jealous God, man. You understand? It's just like if you, read the verse. Give me Deuteronomy 6 and 13.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 13. thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name.
Right. We shall serve the Lord. We shall fear the Lord. The first thing to do, the first thing of fear, like what does it mean to fear the Lord? That's a better question to ask. What does it mean to fear the Lord?
So,
Go ahead.
you follow the law, statute, commandments.
Follow the laws and commandments. But what also would a fear the Lord do? You right. That's you know what I mean. That if you fear the Lord, then you would follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. But you know what I mean. What's making you follow the law, statutes, and commandments? Go ahead.
Is it would it be to love the Lord?
Well, yeah, that's following. That goes along the line of following the law, statutes, and commandments. But what does it mean to like fear the Lord? Like you know, if you follow laws and commandments, it's because you fear the Lord. You know what I mean? That's like the thing or the reaction that you do because you fear the Lord. But what does it mean to fear the Lord?
The luckiest, sir. To
Go ahead.
reverence him.
You said what? Say that
The,
again.
the luckiest, sir. To reverence him.
To reference him, yeah, you always keeping in mind. You know what I mean? You making sure that goes along the line with keeping the laws and commandments. You know what I mean? Like before something happens, you always referencing the Lord, making sure you know what I mean. You thinking about the Lord before you do something. But to fear the Lord is, you know what I mean. You know that the wrath that He brings, the destruction that He could bring, the things that He can do to you, to where that it's making you not want to serve another God. That's fearing the Lord. You know what I mean? When you fear something, you gonna make sure you know what I mean. You do what you got to do so the wrath or the destruction or the repercussions or you know what I mean don't come down on you. So you know what I mean. Nowadays we don't reverence the Lord. We don't care about the Lord. We do what we want to do in the world now. That's not fearing the Lord. You understand? You know who we fear today in America? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans fear today in America. All over the world. You know who we fear now? We don't fear the Lord. Who do we fear now? Go ahead.
It's the pale face, fork-tongued devil, El Diablo himself, Lucifer incarnated in the form of our oppressor.
Right.
Right.
Right. That's damn right. You know what I mean? You got blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans fearing the so-called white man, the oppressor today. That's who we fear. We don't fear the Lord. You understand? You about to say something?
So I got a precept on that.
Go ahead.
Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Right, that's a perfect precept for that, man. Fear them is not able to kill the body, but fear him that's able to kill the body and the soul, which is in hell. We know hell is a condition. It's not saying that you're gonna get sent under the ground in a burning, you know what I mean, in a burning fire or whatever it's talking about. And the reason why you know it's not talking about that is because how your body gonna go to hell. You understand? If hell is a bunch of fire, how would you still be able to have a body there? You understand? So that's why we know it's not talking about, you know what I mean, being in the ground, but that's a perfect precept for it. You understand? Because why do we fear the so-called the white man, the so-called white man or the oppressor? What's the reason why we fear the oppressor?
Because you just can kill the body.
Right, because he can kill us. You know what I mean? We do what we can. Even when people hear us talk about the oppressor, the reason why they come up to us and say, "Oh, you shouldn't be talking like that," is because they can never do it because they fear the oppressor. You understand? They scared that one day the oppressor might come and you know what I mean, cut them off from talking against them like that, for rising up against them. That's what we fear. But the way that we fear the oppressor, we should be fearing the Lord, man. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be fearing the oppressor that, you know what I mean, was the creation of the Lord. You should fear the one that created it. Instead, the Lord is the one that controls what really goes on to you. You know what I mean? We thinking in our mind. Like,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
Would the fear of the Lord also be the beginning of wisdom? Psalm 111 and 10.
Right. That's the, you know what I mean? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's where you understand, you know what I mean, how to live the life, how to, you know what I mean, what you should do, what you should not do. It all pulls down to, it all starts with fearing the Lord. That's exactly correct, man. You understand? But we thinking in our mind, like, you know what I mean, we thinking in our mind when we in the world that, okay, I don't want, you know what I mean, I got to avoid the oppressor, I got to do this in a certain way so the oppressor don't kill me. But we don't realize that the oppressor have no power unless it's from the Lord. Instead, there is no way that the oppressor can find in his mind that he just want to kill you without the Lord saying it's okay, without the Lord giving the okay for you to be killed. You understand? Like nobody dies unless the Lord requires it. It ain't just somebody just going up against the Lord and doing what they want. No, it's chances are we was doing something against the Lord that caused our death. And it just so happened that the oppressor was the one to, carry out the sentence, carry out the murder. You understand? But the oppressor has no power unless the Lord gives it to him. You understand? And it all boils down to us not serving him. You understand? You give me that give me that again, Deuteronomy 6:13.
Oh, right. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 13. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name.
Right. We shall fear the Lord thy God, man. That's doing the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? That's not out here doing what, because when we fear, that's how you know that when it comes to fearing, it's like hand in hand with doing what they tell you to do. You understand? Like when we fear the so-called oppressor, we do what the oppressor tell us to do. You understand? The same thing with the Lord. If you fear the Lord, then you would do what the Lord tell you to do. That's why the brothers just said that fearing the Lord is following the law, statutes, and commandments, which is absolutely correct. Because once you fear the Lord, you will follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Just like how you fear the oppressor, you follow the American rule. You know what I mean? You do what the oppressor tell you to do. You abide by his laws. You understand? You do, and you listening to him. You understand? Because you fear him. You fear that punishment that you might get for not doing it. Keep going.
Oh,
Read me verse 14, 6 and 14.
right. Book of Deuteronomy.
That's the longest, sir.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I missed it, but can I get a breakdown on what it mean right there when it says swear?
Swear by his name.
No, one kind, sir.
Read that again.
Verse 13.
Read verse 13 again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 13. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name.
Right, to swear by his name would just be following him. It's like when you come into the school, you make an oath on the Lord that you will follow the Lord. Instead, you become officer, you make another oath. You get the oath pulled down on your head, you make an oath to follow the Lord. You know what I mean? You swearing by the Lord that you're gonna follow him. You understand? So that's what it's saying by that.
Okay, sir. So it basically like swearing in. You know what I'm saying? Like how the Edomite word, how they swear in. That's basically the same thing, right?
Right. It's similar to that. It's like when you go to the court, right? When you go to court system, they don't follow the Lord, but they bring the Bible out and they tell you know what I mean. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on the Bible. It's like that, but you not lying. You know what I mean? You abiding by what you swore to. You swore to. You know what I mean? You abiding by what the Lord tells. It's like a covenant, an agreement that you make with the Lord.
Okay, that's what?
Right. Give me the next verse. Give me verse 14.
Oh, God. Verse 14. Verse 14. Ye shall not go after other gods.
Right. Ye shall not go after other gods, man. You understand? What's some ways that we go after other gods now? Like, what's some of the things that we do going after other gods? Like, how would you explain that? Going after when it says, "Ye shall not go after other gods."
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, Napash. Napash said it first.
It's just like you celebrating Nimrod, that is Christmas. They celebrating Janus, that's the New Year. And if you celebrating some two homosexual soldiers, it's like Valentine's Day. What else?
So pretty much celebrating all the holidays.
Come.
Right, that'll be going after other gods. Shalom, Lord Christ. Somebody just called in.
Check it in.
Yabashim Yashar Brakatah, the wonderful calling in. Yeah, celebrating the holidays. What's some other ways that you go off serving other gods? What's the biggest ways? Willie, you was about to say something? Young man Willie?
Coming out of a one of the biggest ways is what the Muslims do when they go with the black Muslims when they go over to Mecca and circle around that black stone, that cobblestone.
Right, that's serving other guys. What else? What's another? Give me somebody else. Give me another example of serving other guys.
The law is, sir.
Go ahead.
Is going to Christian church on Sunday.
Right, going to Christian church, being a Christian, that's serving another guy. You serving the wood. That's what it's saying in Deuteronomy. You understand? We will serve the wood and the stone, that cobblestone and that Christian cross, man. You understand? And it says right here, though, we shall not go after other gods, man. Even read more on that. Read that from the top again, verse 14.
Okay. Verse 14. Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you.
Right, and all these things that we serving are the gods of the gods that's round about us, man. You understand? Even more importantly, what a lot of people don't realize is serving other gods is, to simplify it, it's sin. You understand? I'm gonna get more into it, later on in class. But serving other guys is simply sin, man. You know what I mean? When you commit a sin, when you commit anything against the Lord's laws, you're serving other gods, man. You understand? Keep reading. Give me verse 15.
Verse 15. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you.
Right. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you. You understand? Now, when it says the Lord is a jealous God, is that saying that he's emotional?
La.
Say Salakia when you answer, but yeah, you said la. So why you say that?
The Most High don't have that emotional spirit on him. It's the reason he's jealous is because he chose us, and when we go out to do other things against him, it's pretty much a slap in the face. That's why we're in slavery now.
Right, that's damn right. You understand? Like because you know, I mean, you got the Christians in the world. They'll see this, or people who don't want to believe in the Bible, they'll see this and be like, "Well, let's say God is jealous. He emotional." You know what I mean? Or we'll tell brothers that you can't be emotional. You shouldn't be emotional, and then they'll try to say, "Well, God is emotional. He get jealous." Go ahead.
Like what you saying with right there about with those like thinking God is emotional. Do that come back from I don't even know where this come from. You know what I'm saying? Like how they say like a man, like say for example how you like, you know what I'm saying, like how you stay on top of your woman. You know what I'm saying? Like you be like checking it anytime she's dealing with another man, and you know she get that influence that you jealous. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how the world is. Is that why they consider God to be like emotional? Because they consider men to be emotional just because a man checking his women for you know what I'm saying? Like all that stupidity.
Well, that goes hand in hand, and that damn near goes to my next topic. But you understand? He said, so just for brothers who didn't hear what he said, you know what I mean? Is that like how Christians will say, well, God is a jealous God, he emotional? He relating that to the same thing as if you had a woman. And you know what I mean, you making sure you being on top of her, but in the world, you know what I mean, like say you check your woman's phone or, you know what I mean, you making sure she ain't out doing nothing that she shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? And what they'll say in the world, oh, you overprotective, oh, you just jealous, oh, you just, you know what I mean? That's not the same as, you know what I mean, like, when they say that, that's not you being like emotional. Like, yeah, you could be jealous. You understand? But that doesn't make it an emotion. You understand? Which I'm going to get into it even more. But it's like you got to think about it like this. If you was a father, right, and you had a son, and you teaching your son, and, you know what I mean, you raising your son, you teaching your son, and then he go out and, you know what I mean, want to follow after somebody else. Or he come out to you one day and be like, Dad, why can't you be like, you know what I mean, such and such dad? You know what I mean? You would get jealous. Now, that's not an emotion. You understand? That's not you feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? The same thing with our brothers in the world, like, you know what I mean? They'll have a child and the mother will leave the man, but then they'll get another man and then their child is calling, I guess, the other man, you know what I mean, father. Like, you know what I mean? They're using him as a stepfather and he's calling him father. That's not an emotion, you know what I mean? You because that's your son, because, we're the Lord's chosen, we belong to the Lord. So, you know what I mean? Since we belong to the Lord, how dare we follow somebody else? You know what I mean? If that's because that's your son, how dare your son call somebody else a father? You understand? That's why if anybody don't know, the UPK stands on, you know what I mean, when you marry somebody that has children, they don't become your children. Those are not your kids. You know what I mean? They more of a brother and a sister. Now they are part of your family. So like say if you a man and you get with a woman that already have children, those children do not become your children. You understand? That they're part of your family. You a protector. You protect them. You know what I mean? You provide for them. You know what I mean? Just like how you provide and protect for a family. Like you'll make sure they okay. You know what I mean? You won't lead them out and exclude them as if you know what I mean. You don't care about them. But those are not your children because that's disrespectful to the father who they really is. You know what I mean? That's disrespectful to your brother. You know what I mean? So if you have somebody that you know what I mean that have children, you take care. You help. You know what I mean? You take care of the children. You make sure they're all right, but they don't become your children. You understand? It's just like that's. It's just like the same point. Like you know what I mean? Just like what he said, the woman. You because you want to stay on your woman, you chastise your woman, make sure she's doing right. That's not an emotional. You know what I mean? That's not you being emotional. That's not you showing no feelings or nothing like that. You just making sure she being right. That's correction. You understand? Like jealousy, the Lord was jealous over us. That's not him being emotional. That's him correcting us. You know what I mean? Because of this, he's using this to correct us. It's just like what you would do with your child. But we're going to get more into what you just said because that was a great comparison or analogy that you used. So we're going to get more into that. Read that verse again, verse 15.
God, God. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you. Lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from the face of the earth.
Right, you understand? The Lord thy God is a jealous God, man. You understand? You have children, and you have your children go call somebody else father and see if you don't get jealous. You know what I mean? See if that don't anger you. You understand? That's gonna anger you, man. You understand? You're gonna get angry by that. That's why I said the Lord thy God be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. That's good. That's what can happen to us when we decide that we want to serve other gods, that we want to follow the white picture of Jesus Christ, or we want to follow the so-called white man, the oppressor, because of, you know what I mean. He set up
Salakia, sir.
laws and stuff. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Con. It's so heavy that you said that. Would that be in comparison to us losing the memory of who we are, losing our actual culture and customs, and losing the fact that we are the children of Israel? Is that what he means by destroy us off the face of the earth?
Right, you understand? That's what happened. You understand? That's destroying us off the face of the earth. You could look at it as that, or you can look at it as really being killed. Like being killed. When you die, you off the face of the earth. You know what I mean? You come, reincarnation is in the Bible, so you'll come back living another life. But that life that you was living before you died, I mean, you know what I mean, before you came back, it ends up getting killed, destroyed off the face of the earth. And it's even in the standpoint of where we lost. Oh, give me 1 second. It's even in the standpoint of like how you said, you know what I mean, us losing our knowledge and our culture. You understand? But why did we lose our knowledge and our culture? You know why we lost it? It was our fault because we wanted to adapt other people's cultures. You know what I mean? We wanted to follow other people's gods. So that's when you end up losing by default. That's why all the other nations know their culture because they don't follow other people's cultures. They keep it in their family. They make sure they going on down to their children. They make sure they teach their culture and what they always was serving, what their religion or whatever it is. They always teach it. Because if you start to learn other people's cultures, you lose your culture. You can even look at other nations that come to America and they start to get modernized. When they start to get modernized by America, they start to lose their culture. Like for instance, you know what I mean, you got Jamaican people or Chinese, some of them Chinese people, Arab people. Sometimes they come to America and they start to get so into living the American life that they lose their culture. So when they have children, their children damn near just get raised up as Americans. They no longer, you know what I mean, worshiping Buddha or whatever they was worshiping before because they done Americanized. That's what happens when you take on other people's cultures. You start to lose your cultures. You don't keep both of them. You lose one of them. Somebody was saying Salakia?
Salakia, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 26 be a precept to what we're talking about in verse 15?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
I mean, verse what? Let me pull it in my King James. I'm on the Bible Hub. Here we go. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26, I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
Right, you understand? Meaning we end up being scattered, we cease and we don't know who we are. That goes into not knowing who we are, man. You know what I mean? Scattered all throughout the earth, following other nations, and we not holding our own culture. You understand? Like everybody know that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have the best culture in the world, and you can tell by just our cooking. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily like right now in America. There's not a culture that we can hold on to, but just how much flavor, how much we cook, you know, good food, how much it's just like in our bloodline to be this way. How we act, how we carry ourselves, how we talk. You understand? We just don't know what culture to tie that to. But you know what I'm saying? But we losing our culture because we trying to be more American. It's like think about like an Uncle Tom. You know what I mean? They want to fit in with America, right? So when they fit into America, what's the first thing that they do? They start acting white. You know what I mean? They don't, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Tucking their shirt in their pants, you know what I mean? They wearing a suit and a tie, dressed up all nice. Like they want to be the farthest, give me 1 second, they want to be the farthest away from a nigga, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to associate themselves with being a nigga at all. You know what I mean? They talking proper. Now I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk proper. You know, if you're getting a job, you're going for an interview, of course you want to talk proper so you can get the job. But, you know what I mean? If you're around your friends, you know what I mean? Talk how, you know what I mean? Talk how you want to talk. How to talk normal. That's how black people talk, which is in slang. You understand? It ain't nothing disrespectful. It ain't nothing wrong about talking in slang. You know, if you know, talking in around people in person, you're not in a job setting or professional setting. You know, certain people try to make fun of you about the way you talk. You understand? That's what you're doing. When you do that, though, you're losing your culture. It's natural for black people to talk slang or ebonics, whatever they want to call it. Somebody says Salakia?
Sir. I was just, if I could, I wanted to add on to what you were saying about you know, them still out the Uncle Tons. I was gonna say, if I could, you know, them full-blooded Uncle Tons, like the Marshmallow Man, Shaquille O'Neal himself, who I seen the general bring out, right. Commander Junior Hunter bring out yesterday. You know what I'm saying? They shaved their beard and all, you know what I'm saying, all the hair they had.
Right, exactly, man, and that's what they do. You know what I mean? When you start to conform into other nations, you start to find yourself, first of all, not caring about black people, but you end up losing your culture and you serving other guys. You're not serving your, like, you gotta think about it. Why would we serve other people gods that is for vain? You know what I mean? Vanity. It don't mean nothing. Well, the Lord that's over us, that chose us, is the one that created the heavens and the earth. It's then like the nigga God, you know what I mean? The black man God created everything, man. You understand? He's the ruler of the whole earth. So why would we serve a lesser God, you know what I mean, other than the God that's over us, that chose us specifically? You understand? But it say right here, read that last part, read verse 15 again.
Kawakon. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against me, and destroy thee off the face of the earth.
Right. If you want to know why black people, blacks, Hispanic, and Native American people is going through the problems that they're going through right now, all this stuff happening to us, is because we decided that we don't want to serve the Lord, man. We want to serve, you know, we want to serve the oppressor. We want to serve Christianity. We want to serve Islam. You understand? Muslim. You know what I mean? We want to serve all. We got people doing, our people doing yoga in the witchcraft. We want to do everything but serve the Lord. And that's why we going through the things that we going through. You understand? Because it say in the bottom part, the Lord thy God will be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. You understand? Why is the Lord destroying us off the face of the earth? Give me Amos 3:2. You understand? If you want to know why the Lord, everything is happening to us, you know what I mean? Because when you look at blacks, Hispanic, and Native American people, it'll make you wonder, like, why are we at the bottom? Why are we going through everything that we're going through? Why don't other nations? Now, you have, you know, a small remnant of they nations that go through it too. Like, you have the white trash, you know what I mean? But that white trash is because they damn near useless. You know what I mean? Black people, we do a lot. You understand? We help the world a lot. We give the whole earth. Give me 1 second. We give the earth a whole type of, you know what I mean, culture. We damn near the salt of the earth. We make the world better to live on just by our existence, man. You know what I mean? If you took away black, Hispanic, and Native Americans off the earth, earth would be one boring ass place. You know what I mean? Who want to watch white people play basketball, man? Nobody. You know what I mean? Who want to watch white entertainers? Damn near nobody. You understand? Like, everything would be taken off the earth. If we took us off the earth, there would be no fun on the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be nothing to do. It would be a boring. If we wasn't on the earth, man, white people would still be in caves drinking from skulls, man. You understand? We teach all that. But you said, Salaki, somebody's going to say something?
Cut out of what cut, sir. I want to say, like, with even with the white, the oppressive trash, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they, I mean, like, it's really their fault, right? You know what I'm saying? The reason why they is trash because, like, I mean, that's just them being lazy. Because if they, you know what I'm saying, they use their privilege, they're, you know what I'm saying, be able to achieve the things that they fellow people. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of blaming us, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's exactly right. Like, black people are born in a condition to where you at a disadvantage, man. You understand? We don't get the same opportunities as other people do, other nations do. You understand? So that's why when you talk about, give me 1 second, that's when you talk about a black person or Hispanic person being broke or not having, it's because of the predicaments that they was faced from birth, man. The disadvantage they have from birth. White people are white trash because they lazy. You know what I mean? You got everything, you got all the keys to this kingdom to succeed. You know what I mean? White privilege. You got all the keys to this system to succeed, and you still don't. You understand? But what you'll find out is that white trash, those people that's in those other nations that consider the bottom of their nation, still is better than you. And why do I say that? Because that white trash can still go to a bank and get a loan. We can't. That white trash, you'll find out that white trash is still not, even though they got a lower credit score than you, they probably still can get apply for and get approved of more things that you can get approved for, just because off the fact of their skin color, man. Because of the fact of their nation. You understand? So you about to say Salakia?
Con out of one con. I was just gonna say that the oppressor, the white trash oppressor, he trash by choice. You know what I'm talking about? Cause just like you said, he had the benefit of going to the bank and getting that $200,000-$300,000 loan. He can go do that. All he got to do is go take a bath. You know what I'm saying? And go on up there and get that loan. You know what I'm saying? So it's his choice to be at the bottom of his race. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I used to work with this oppressor, and he used to call himself a N-word all the time. I had to politely cuss him out and tell him quickly, please stop calling yourself that before I make you one. You know what I'm saying? Because just because you on the bottom of your situation don't make you like me. You understand? You'll never be me. So don't call yourself a nigger, whatever. Don't do that, because you'll never be me. As much as you want to be like me, you would never be that. And you want to be like me and my people on the bottom. You really is scum of the earth to everybody if you want to be like on the bottom. That's crazy to me. But the whole world want to be like the people on the bottom, but they can't stand us.
Right, and that's true though. You'll find out a lot of the ones that the trash of their nation, they do try to, relate themselves to being black, or like they can relate to us. They'll be like, oh yeah, man, they do the same thing to me. They try to relate to our poverty. You know what I mean? As if they can, we got something in common. We don't got nothing in common. You understand? We don't have nothing in common with them. They just decided that they were just gonna be a failure at life. Whereas it comes to us, we damn near struggling. We want to succeed. You know what I mean? We don't decide. We don't just want to sit at home and not get a job and not do nothing. We want to do all that. We want to be able to have the best jobs, doing all the work for it. We just can't get them. They can get them, but they decide to sit on their damn ass. Those are the ones that's really lazy. But give me Amos 3:2. This is going to show you why we in the conditions that we in now, man. You understand? Like, it's real. It's something special about the Lord choosing us. Especially, the Lord could have chose whoever he wanted to choose, but he decided to choose us. And how do we return that favor? Serving other gods. You understand? So this is why we're in the condition that we're in. Give me Amos 3:2.
Con. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right. It says, you only have I known from all the families on the earth. You understand? You only have I known. So does this mean that he knows, all the other nations? Or is that just talking about him knowing only Israel? That's talking about him knowing only Israel, right? Exactly. So where does this notion
Salaki.
come? Give me 1 second. So where does this notion come from where God loves everybody, or God is everybody's God? You understand? You talk to other nations, and they'll say, in their mind, well, God is everybody God. You know what I mean? Oh, He's the God of everybody. Read that verse from the top again.
Come on, the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right. You all only have I known from all the families of the earth. Now, they're talking about the families. That means all the nations on the earth. I've only known this one nation. God don't know these other nations, man. You understand? This is in your Bible. This is what the Christian pastor need to be bringing out. That God only knows Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and He don't know nobody else. You understand? Somebody's going to say Salakia? Somebody said Salakia?
I did, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they got that from the Christian church.
Right.
God loves everyone.
Yeah, the Christian church, God love everybody. You understand? That's exactly right.
Yes.
You understand? They got that. The Christian church tell you or tell us that God love everybody, but according to this verse, it shows that God only knows Israel. You understand? You can go into it's going to get even more deeper than that. Go ahead.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Therefore, He will punish us for all our niggas. You want to know why black people was in the situations that we in? Because we have a great Father. You understand? That's why we in the positions that we in. You understand? If you a good father, if you a father, right? You have children. Your children start to do wrong, start to do something that they shouldn't do. What would be your natural reaction to do? That's a question.
Salakia.
Luck is
Go ahead, online, young man.
steer him straight, lead him in the right path,
And how would you do that?
make sure he obeys the laws of God and your laws.
Even more specific, is one word. If your child do something wrong, what would you do?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Tear that ass up.
Right, you will punish him. Now, yeah, essentially, you steering him to the right way. You know what I mean? You correcting them, but sometimes your correction have to come in you punishing them. Now, when you say punishing, when you hear punishing, I don't want you to think about it as the Christian way, because what's the Christian way of punishing their children?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Hey, Brother Willis saying it right, man. You know, if a Christian hear that, they gonna think it's like very violent. Like
They gonna think it's what?
something extremely violent.
Right, something extremely violent. Give me an example of the Christian way to punish their children. Give me 1 second. Give me an example of the Christian way to punish your children. Go ahead.
I got a couple of examples. The first one they would do, they would put their child in timeout. They'll stand in the corner. Then they'll tell them, I'm going to take your video game away from you for a couple of hours. You know, they just stuff that don't even matter, that they ain't really going to feel.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, though. With that, that's actually some good punishment. I'm going to give me 1 second. I'm actually tell you something. Those punishments that you name, those actually aren't Christian ways. That's actually a good way that you can punish your child. You understand? I'm not even going to lie. That's actually a good way you can to tell them to stand out, make them do some exercising. Wall sit in the... That's actually a decent way to punish your children. What's not a decent way is if somebody got it. What's not a decent way to punish your children? Go ahead.
If I could, sir, that famous stitching card, grabbing the first thing you see, going across that.
Right, that's not an efficient way to punish your children. Grabbing extension cords, you know what I mean? If you really had a Christian family, they'll tell you to take a bath. You know what I mean? You go take a bath, and right when you get out the bath, they come with the belt, whipping you when you know what I mean, when you are wet and soaked. That's abuse, man. That's not a way to punish your children. That is child abuse. That's not. Chances are, if you got to do that at an old, because when they doing this, we like what, 10, 12. You know what I mean? And chances are, if you got to do that when you 10 and 12, you already done failed as a parent. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Yes, sir.
You damn near already. Give me 1 second. You damn near already failed as a parent. Punishing your children is okay. Say if they little, a little smack on the hand. So the little children will cry at that. You know what I mean? They child, they don't know no better. Around 4. That's why you want to always punish your children at an early age, because it's gonna get to a point to where they get too old and it's damn near too late, and you're gonna damn near have to beat your children up just to punish them. And that's what happens with Christianity. They don't correct the children at a little age. They wait till they grow up, and then because they think it's a game. When the children doing little small things, running around the house doing little small things, they think it's funny. But then when they get to a certain age, then that's when they think in their mind, okay, let me start whipping them. And no, man, you don't want to beat your child, man. You know what I mean? Leaving all marks on them, having bruises, they going to school all bruised up. That's not an efficient way to punish your children. You want to start at an early age. You know what I mean? They around like 3, 4. Give them a little tap on the hand, a little pluck. You know what I mean? That hurts them. You know what I mean? But it's not an abuse. Sometimes you don't even if you got your children little. Sometimes you don't even have to hit them. You can just scare them. Just, you know what I mean? Like start crying just off of that. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you got something to say?
Yeah, cause Sister Bree Haddock out of Facebook said, good way to punish taking a bed without dinner.
Right, you know what I mean? Bed without dinner. You understand? You do certain things like that to where it's not abuse. You don't want to abuse your children. So, like, you know what I mean? That's what, putting them in timeout, taking their games away, that's actually an efficient way to punish your children. But like I said, you don't want to do it at an old age where it's damn near, you know what I mean? It don't matter no more. You understand? But that's the Christian way in their mind. The Christian way in their mind is to damn near beat the death out the children. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's not efficient. That's child abuse, man. You understand? But just like how a father would punish their children if they do something wrong, that's the same thing for the Lord. That's the Lord punishing us if we do something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reason why we going through these problems is because the Lord is trying to learn to teach us that we only need to be serving Him, that we only need to be following the Lord and not other gods. You understand? After the Lord come back and save us and get us out of these conditions, you got to take it from the mindset of, because we went through all this, we wouldn't even think about serving the other nations again once the Lord get us out of these conditions. You know what I mean? Like, you might find somebody that's like, man, I miss being in America. You know what I mean? And other people gonna look at him like, is you crazy? You know what I mean? We rule the earth now. You talking about going back to being a slave? You understand? We had to go through all this to understand. You know what I mean? We had to go through this oppression to be at the bottom for our wrongdoings to get corrected so that we can start serving the Lord again. You know what I mean? So we can know that, well, we tried that path. We did that. That didn't work out for us. You know what I mean? That put us in a condition to where we damn near, you know what I mean, struggling to stay alive. So now we going to serve the Lord. We're going to keep serving the Lord because this is the best thing for us. You know what I mean? It's the same way that's why the Lord kindled His anger and punishes us. It's a correction, man. If you don't correct your children, if you don't correct them, then you don't love them. You know what I mean? Them parents them like, I'm gonna be honest with you, some of them spoiled children. Now there's certain ways you can spoil your children, but some children is so spoiled that they just damn near think they can do whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, they have no type of sense of punishment. They just do what the hell. You don't want to do that. You don't want to spoil your children to where they thinking that they can do whatever the hell they want to do.
Sir.
You understand? Go ahead.
What you just said is so heavy. I seen that personally within my own family. I got a cousin. He got everything he wanted. Never got no beating, none of that, no punishment, none of that. Whatever he did was wrong. It was just wrong, but nobody ever chastised him for it. And so it got to the point to where when he got of age, you know what I'm saying, he wanted to try the police and everybody. You know what I'm saying? He ended up going to prison for that. You know what I'm saying? So being spoiled as a child, you know what I'm saying, it does have repercussions later on down the road.
And that's exactly right. You understand? You get spoiled as a child, they start to think that they can just do whatever the hell they want. And then they find themselves. That's why that mentality of, it's all Christian. That mentality, I'm going to spoil my children. I'm going to get them everything. I'm going to get them everything that I didn't have. Then they find their children getting locked up, getting shot. You know what I mean? God forbid, but that's the things that happen to us. You understand? Because we don't have no type of control in our mind. We just want to do whatever the hell we want to do. That's what I'm saying. So if
Yes,
you
sir.
really, give me 1 second. So if you really love your children, you will correct them so they'll know right from wrong. So you'll be able to trust your children so they're not gonna do nothing crazy, not gonna do nothing stupid. You understand? That's not the Christian way of doing it. That's not the Christian way of doing it. That's the right way. The Christian way of doing it, that's what I'm saying, you're gonna start beating your children to death and doing all those type of things. You gonna say something?
Your call card. There's a
Yeah,
comment
cause
from Eric.
No, no. Let Keegan go first. You gonna say something? Yeah, he said.
Salaki, sir, I know, brother.
No, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know what I'm saying, to Waterford, you know what I'm saying, to the ISUBK and the most side, you know what I'm saying, lead me into the ISUBK because, like, as you know what I'm saying, coming from a Christian mindset, you know what I'm saying, I can say that's heavy, you know what I'm saying, like, want to raise your kids up, you know what I'm saying, give them everything you want, trying to spoil them. You say, I want to give my kids everything I didn't have, but, you know what I'm saying, the most important thing about that is that we say we want to give our kids what we didn't have, but we don't consider the knowledge that we didn't have. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that I realized like was the most important thing that I should be fighting to give my kids, other than, you know what I'm saying, like the spoiling, you know what I'm saying, the flashy things like that. Because like how Brother Will was just bringing out, you know what I'm saying, I know a couple people that took that road too. You know what I'm saying? And if I could, sir, in the past, I had a question I wanted to ask you. If I could, sir, it's like.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay, yeah, with the way the Christians whoop their children, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the Bible says, you know, spare the rod. I'm paraphrasing, I don't know like the whole scripture, but I know I say spare the rod. Is that something that, you know, like I know, you know, Lord, ain't nothing new up on the sun, but you know, as far as in this generation, like going back to slavery, is that something that, you know what I'm saying? Like, being that. We inherited the Christian doctrine from the oppressor. Is that like sparing the rod, something that they probably would have did to us, like when they whipping us, saying, "Look, the Lord say spare the rod." So you know how the way they beat us is something that we start beating each other like that, and then you know like maybe some situation where like maybe men back, like you know what I'm saying, us back then trying to rebel. Our parents would whip us like the, you know what I'm saying, the oppressor used to whip us. Is that what, or where that come from, like?
Well, you got some type of you got a little correlation on it. Now, when it says spare the rod, spare not the rod. Instead, it is talking about punishing your children. You know what I mean? A lot of people let their children skate by without being punished. Now, like I said, it don't mean you know what I mean beating your damn children to a pulp. You understand? Like I said, a slap on the wrist could be, you know what I mean, you using the rod to punish them. You know what I mean? Sometimes maybe you do whoop them, give them like two little spankings on the, you know what I mean, when they little, just pop. You know what I mean? Popping a little twice, but see, what you was right in is the reason why Christians like whoop us, like you know what I mean, like the reason why Christians whoop their children and beat their children with belts and smack them and doing all that type of stuff is because of slavery. You know what I mean? So you are right about that. That is because of slavery. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, who used to beat people like that? Like how the Christians beat their children. We used to get beat like that for slaves, man. You know what I mean? You being a slave, they had that whoop and they, you know what I mean, smacking your back, leaving all those marks on your back. That's the same thing that Christians do with their children when they whooping them, man. They taking out all their anger. Give me 1 second. They taking out all the anger that they go through in their life. They taking it out on their children. That's what you're not supposed to do. Like you want to correct your children so they know right from wrong, but you don't use that as an opportunity to relieve your stress. You know what I mean? You so mad at the world that as soon as your children do something, you blow up. And now you know what I mean? You taking out all your anger on your children, whooping them like they a damn slave. You know what I mean? That's not what you're supposed to do. And like I said, that comes from slavery, man. Us being whooped like that. Now we taking out that aggression on us. You understand? They can't do nothing to the oppressor. They can't do nothing to the one that's over them, they boss that's over them, that's giving them all them problems. They can't do nothing to them. So what do? They come home and they beat their children to a pulp, man. That's where that comes from. You understand? Somebody said Salakia?
I don't want to come, sir. It's so heavy what you just said. It just made me realize a crucial point. The Christian church want to be like the oppressor. They do everything like the oppressor. They beat people like the oppressor. They rape people like the oppressor. They murder people like the oppressor. They steal your wife like the oppressor. They molest your children like the oppressor. They what they call it, buck busting. They do that like the oppressor. Everything that the Christian church do it's like the oppressor. They even some of them even sleep with their own sister like the oppressor. You know, because they want to be like the oppressor. It's only one thing that can happen. They have to realize that being like the oppressor is what's holding you back.
Right, and everything you said is exactly correct. Now tie it back to class. Why are they doing all those things?
To lock yourself.
Go ahead.
Because they don't fear the Lord. They fear the white man.
But even more,
To
you
lock
right.
yourself.
That's damn right. You know what I mean. But even more,
Yes, sir.
going back into the topic that we going over today, what are they doing? Go ahead. You said something, brother?
Yes, I just want to add that they want to be like, they want to save the white man.
Right. That's
They
what
want
they
to
want.
save the oppressor.
Right. That's exactly what they want to do. But I'm trying to tie it back to this class that we going over. The topic of this class that we was talking about. What are they essentially doing? Like what causes you to do all those type of sins and like what causes you to sleep with your, you know what I mean? Yeah, you wanna, you know what I mean? You fear the oppressor. You wanna be like the oppressor. But what essentially are you doing?
Uh,
To lock yourself.
Go ahead.
Is it they worshiping other gods?
They is worshiping other gods, man. That's what caused you to do those things. You serving other gods. You understand? Like,
okay.
yeah, like you gotta look at it. You gotta think about it like this. When we smoke weed, right? Like when we got people smoking weed, we think we cool. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we smoking weed and da 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 da. I don't serve, but essentially, when you smoking weed, guess what you doing? You serving another god, man. Cause the Lord never said to smoke no weed. You understand? But you know who said to smoke weed? The East Indians. This what Queen Shiva, God Shiva, whatever the goddess Shiva, the many arms, whatever that Hinduism crap. That's where the smoking weed came from. You understand? When you molesting children, you doing that's the white man's God. So like that's the oppressor's God, man. That's what they do. You understand? That's why when we start to do it, it's because we serving their gods, man, which caused us to do those things. That's why I wanted to get into our mind. Serving other gods is not just simply going to the Christian church. That's the biggest ones, or going to the Muslim church. Those are the biggest ones. But serving other gods is simply committing sin, man. Doing anything against God, because if you're not serving the Lord, then who are you serving when you do it? You serving somebody else. You serving some other nation that does that. Everything that we do that's a sin comes from other nations. That's why I said don't go after other nations. Don't go after the other gods that's around about us, because essentially when we do that, we just doing what they do. We're perpetuating their culture. You know what I mean? We doing whatever they said was cool. Homosexuality. They said it's cool. Okay, now you know what I mean. We end up becoming homosexuals. That's not our culture. That's not what our God gave us, man. But that's what they God told them. That's what the Egyptian God told them. You understand? That's why it's so important to not serve other gods and realize what it is, because simply committing a sin, man, eating pork, shrimp, lobster, you serving another God. You're not serving the Lord. The Lord told us that we can't do that. Who told us that we can? Those other gods, those other nations, God told us that they can. You understand? That's why it's so important. Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 21. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 32 and 21 to continue showing you that the Lord is a jealous God, man. You understand? Like, we can't be doing these other things. We're going to keep in this situation. We're going to stay in the situation that we in the conditions that we in, if we decide that we keep wanting to go against the Lord. You know what I mean? You got people it's like they so ready to serve other nations that even when they come into the knowledge of knowing that they're Israelite, you know what I mean, they still doing things that the other you know what I mean, the other nations do. Like you got brothers that know that they're Israelite, but then they try to refute us on scriptures talking about the weed. The Bible say that you can smoke weed. You know what I mean? They want to serve weed. They want to serve the God, the Shiva, the East Indians. They want to smoke weed so bad that they'll still do it while they thinking that they in the truth. You know what I mean? We got to get away from all that. You understand? You got that from me? Read it.
Oh, you want to read it?
Oh no, you had something to say?
Yeah, there's a question from Facebook from Reese Life. He was saying, I got a question. Y'all, all of the plants, did we know as people to smoke these certain plants? He basically talking about, about smoking weed.
He says, read that again.
He said, I got a question. Why out of all all the plants did we know as people to smoke this certain plants?
You gotta rephrase that question. I
Yeah,
can't
gotta
really
rephrase
understand
it.
it. You gotta rephrase that question.
You
I know
said-
you're talking about weed, but I'm trying to figure out because you said out of all the plants to smoke, we don't smoke no plants. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to smoke any type of plant. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to roll no type of plant up, and you know what I mean, inhale it. So just rephrase that question a little better, and then I'll get back to you on that one. You understand? Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 21.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and 21. Okay. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not the Most High.
Right. We have moved the Lord to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. You understand? When we decide that we want to do all these other things that the nation is doing, you moving the Lord to jealousy with that is not the Most High, man. You serving something that has no damn power at all. You understand? You serving something that damn near can't do. You know what I mean? It can't do what the Lord can do. Not even close, man. You understand? Keep going.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities.
Right, exactly. That's what it calls it. When you decide that you want to serve other gods, it's vanity, man. It's for nothing. It's vain. You understand? It goes back into in Samuel. I'm probably gonna pull that later, but keep going on that.
Go on, Con. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Right, you understand? Read that last part again, man. That's what the Lord thinks of these other nations, but He did it because we provoked Him to jealousy. Read that last part again.
And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Right. Okay. He said his question was. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back to his question. He said we don't smoke no other plant but this one. That's not necessarily true. People find ways to smoke cocaine or crack, which it comes from a plant. You know what I mean? Well, I guess if you're talking about like smoking and inhaling, but people smoke heroin. You know what I mean? It's just not through like in like the form you want, but all these come from plants. So that's not true. You know what I mean? People also do smoke those other type of plants that come from a plant. But I hear what you're saying, and what you're saying is the reason why we gravitated to smoking weed was it comes from the East Indians. If you go to the origin, the East Indians smoked it. We never smoked it. You know what I mean? So it was something that was taught to us. It wasn't like we picked it up and we knew that this was the one that you could smoke or nothing like that. Because the plant was essentially used, all plants is used for a purpose. You know what I mean? So it has a medicinal purpose to it. But smoking it comes from East Indian. If you look at the origin of smoking weed, it's from East Indians. That's what they used. They used it to smoke and thought that when they smoked the weed, they got high and they got closer to their God. And it started off in the Jamaican area. I mean, was it the Bahamas areas down there in like the West Indies? The East Indians brought it to the West Indies, and that's where they come. That's where you get the Rastafarian. The Rastafarians they started teaching them to smoke weed. So that's where Rastafarians started to come from, and eventually just gravitated this way from America perpetuating smoking weed and stuff like that. So essentially, it's not that we knew to smoke this. It was these acts or these things was taught to us. You know what I mean? Like it was something that was taught to us and put on us, so that we just took on their culture. We started doing it. But that's the answer to that question. But like I said, people smoke poppy seeds. They find ways. There's different ways to do it. But people smoke crack. You know what I mean? They smoke heroin too. So that's not the only plant that they smoke. But read that verse again.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
What you just said, I got a question about that. You said you were talking about smoking the chronic and all that, and doing the different types of drugs and all that, right?
Right.
And you said it come from other cultures, right?
Yeah. Count on count.
Could that be could that Genesis 3:1 could that be used to cut that whole smoking weed and doing all the drugs? Because when you said it come from other cultures, and we know Genesis 3:1 talks about the serpent beguiling Eve to do something she wasn't supposed to do, take on another custom, another culture. Is that basically what that's going on? The serpent brought in a different culture to wipe us out?
Right, that's exactly what it is. It's teaching, it goes farther than weed, but That's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? The serpent, you know what I mean? The serpent, the most subtle beast of the field. And that's what that, you know what I mean? Because we went into a class to where that the trees that was the knowledge, you know what I mean? The trees was the nations. And, you know what I mean? The doctrines that they was giving them is what they was teaching them. So it's just another doctrine. You understand? It's just another custom, another nation, culture that they do. You understand? But there's verses in the Bible that you actually can use against smoking weed. I wouldn't necessarily use that one, but essentially, yes, that's what it is. It's us taking on other cultures and doing their culture, which is, you know what I mean, doing drugs, smoking drugs, and doing all that. That don't come from us. You know what I mean? We didn't, one day no black person just decided on their own to pick up a weed plant, making it, you know, make it into, you know, cut it off or whatever they do and roll it up and smoke it. That came from another nation teaching us. You was gonna say something?
I had a question from Facebook from Yahweh Shah Bashim. Satanic star, symbolizing which is the symbol Molech. You said which scripture that, you know, the satanic star was symbolizing which symbol Molech.
Yeah, I'm gonna just disregard that nonsense. What he's talking about is, you know what I mean, the shield of David. He's saying it's the star of Molech, but he don't know what the star of Molech is. We could pull that verse up. A star is not what you see in the background. You understand? A star is not the shield of David. A star is a ball of gas. You understand? So they just don't know what they're talking about. I'm gonna just disregard that one. There's classes. If you really want to know the answer, there's classes on, you know, that we have on Isupk that's already going over that. You understand? But read that for me again, 32 and 21.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
Right, we was moved to jealousy with those that are not a people, man. That's what it calls the other nations, man. That's what it calls the oppressors specifically over us. A people that is not a people. Keep going.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
And he would say he will provoke us to anger with a foolish nation. Now, we got a question, another question. He said, so my son shouldn't be playing football. Seen the scripture referring to something like this. There's nothing against your son playing football. You understand? Now, what the school stands on sport is he shouldn't go professional. The reason why he shouldn't go professional is because there's more better things to do than, you know what I mean, professionally playing football. You understand? I mean, it's serving the Lord. You know what I mean? Serving the Lord should be his focus, not playing, you know what I mean, going professional and playing football and stuff like that. But if they young, they little, and you got them in football, you know what I'm saying, you got them in football playing sports, there's nothing wrong with them playing sports. You understand? You might heard from another group to where you can't play sport. There's nothing against the Bible of you saying it's a sin for him to play football. But it's just when it's going professional, they should be more focused on doing the Lord's work than, you know what I mean, being a professional football player. Because you know, chances are if you're a professional football player, that's going to stop you from doing the Lord's work or even wanting to serve the Lord. You understand? But that's the stance on that. But like I said, it's nothing wrong with if he's like, you know what I mean, in high school or something playing football. It's nothing wrong with him playing no type of sports. But you understand, it says the Lord will move us to jealousy with a people that's not a people, man, a foolish nation. You understand? That's what happens with us. You know what I mean? That's why we in the condition that we in. That's why you have the oppressor over us. Because we were just moved to jealousy. You understand? To being jealous. Looking at this and being jealous like, damn, we could be better than this. We know we better than this. We know that we shouldn't be in this position. It's all because we don't serve the Lord. It's all because we want to do whatever we want to do, man. You understand? Go to Isaiah 54 and 5 through 6. So now, you know what I mean, in the Bible we know, so you know that in the Bible we go to, and when it comes to in the Bible, it relates to the Lord being a father or us being a, you know what I mean, a son or daughters to the Lord. What's another analogy that it uses in the Bible for us?
It's a lot here, sir.
Go ahead.
I could be wrong, Salaki, but is it like wife or husband? Or?
That's exactly what it is, man. You understand? That's exactly what the Lord referenced Israel as his wife. You understand? Now, you got that for me? Isaiah 54 and 5. That's a good answer too, man. That was exactly what it was.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 5. For thy maker is thy husband, The Lord of hosts is his name.
Read above that real quick. Let me see if I want the verse above that one.
Verse 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of the widowhood anymore.
Right, you understand now? Read, keep reading.
Verse 5. For thy maker is thy husband.
Right, now the maker is talking about the Lord, man. And it's talking about Israel not being ashamed because of all the things that we're going through. They will try, the world today will try to make us ashamed of being black. You know what I mean? That's why you got a lot of celebrities bleaching their skin to be what? They real insecure about themselves because the world will try to make you feel ashamed of being black, for being yourself. You know what I mean? Try to put titles on us being ghetto and, you know what I mean, being thugs and, you know what I mean? The world will try to make us think that being black is just a damn near a crime. You understand? But we shouldn't be ashamed, you understand? Or confounded. You understand? Because the maker is our husband, man. The Lord is our husband, man. And it ain't no homosexual, don't think in no homosexual type of way and, oh, what y'all love God, he y'all husband. No, it ain't no homosexual way. It's showing you the knowledge. Keep going. You said something?
I don't want it's heavy that you say that because when you look at a husband and wife relationship, the husband is the protector of the wife. So if it's a problem to have the Most High God as the protector of Israel, that's on you. But I'd rather be protected by a living God than any statue any day.
Right, and that's damn right. And even going even farther than that, it's relating us as being the wife and him being the husband for this reason. The wives and not Salagi, but you know what I mean. Sorry for all you women out there. The wives is to serve the husband, man. That's what it's showing you. You understand? And since we're the wife, it's showing you that we just supposed to serve the Lord. It's giving you that correlation to understand that the wife is supposed to serve the husband. That's why the Lord reverences as, you know what I mean, him being the husband to Israel and them being the wife. Now, if it was like how it's supposed to be in the oppressor kingdom, how the oppressor set it up, you know what I mean, when we think a happy wife is a happy life. So now the Lord is reverencing this to him in Israel. So is it supposed to be, oh, happy Israel is a happy life? As long as we happy, we don't got to say, no, we still supposed to serve the Lord. You see what the Lord did to us for not serving him. Right. That's how the wife is supposed to do. The wife is supposed to serve the husband, man. That's what you was put here for. Just like how Israel was put here for to serve the Lord. It's an order. You understand? It's an order. Going from the Lord to Christ to the men to the woman. You understand? Read verse 5 again.
Come on. We go. 4? Oh, 5. Right. For thy maker is thy husband. The Lord of hosts is his name.
Right. It's showing you that this is talking about the Lord. Keep going.
And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel.
Right. The Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, man. This is talking about the Lord. And it's calling him the husband to Israel, man. You understand? The husband to Israel. So I got a question. Since the Lord is considered the husband to Israel, right? When we go serve other gods, what is that considered to the Lord?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Adultery.
Adultery, that's absolutely correct. What's another word for it? That's absolutely correct. You right. You said what?
You a whore.
Right, a whore. Right, a whore, man. You understand? That's how the Lord look at it when we go and serve other nations. We are being whores, man. You understand? Which it's so powerful that he used this analogy because it's showing you also how severe it is for a woman to stay loyal to her husband. You understand? Because if a woman cheats on her husband, she's considered a whore. Now you got women out here that think in their mind, well, if a man can get multiple women, why can't a woman get multiple men? Well, if you're gonna use that analogy and the Lord just referenced and compared us, you know what I mean, having a man and a husband to him in Israel, then you practically saying, well, if the Lord can have, you know what I mean, if the Lord can have multiple Israelites following him, then the Israelites should have multiple gods that they can follow. Well, according to the Lord, that ain't right. You understand? You see how that works out? It's starting from the top on down. You know what I mean? If a woman think in her mind that she can have multiple husbands, then that's like Israel thinking that they can have multiple gods. You understand? This is the analogy that is using. Keep going.
Come on. The God of the whole earth shall he be called.
Right. The God of the whole earth shall he be called. Let me see. That's it on that. Give me Judges 2:17, man. And
That's the log is, sir.
yeah, go ahead.
Right there where it say the whole earth, is it referring to like the reason I'm asking this question because I want to make a point after the question. Right there when it say on the whole earth, is it referring to like every nation in the world?
No, it's not. He's not the God of everybody in the world. He's talking about the whole earth, meaning he created the earth. Meaning he's the most high.
Okay,
That's what he's talking about.
Okay. Okay, you know where I was going to go with that, right?
Yeah, because if it was talking about that, he would have just said all the nations. No, he's just saying he's the God of the whole earth, meaning all the earth is his, man. He's the God of it. He's the one that created it. You understand? If it was talking about all the people, it said like all the people, all the nations on the earth. You understand? But no sweat. Give me you got that for me? Judges 2:17. Like we said, we refer to as Israel being the wife to the Lord, man. So when you decide to go serving out the other gods, it'll be whoring. You'll be whoring. You understand? If you don't believe, we about to break it down right now. Give me that.
Come on. The book of Judges, chapter 2, verse 17. And yet they would not be hearkened unto their judges, but they went a whoring after another god.
Right. They want what?
A whoring after another god.
Right. At whoring after another gods, man. Spell that word.
WHORING.
Right. Whoring after another gods, man. You understand? When you decide that you want to smoke weed, when you decide you want to sell weed, you know what I mean? You want to kill your brother. You understand? You want to sleep with another man's wife. You decide you want to leave your woman because she just get on your nerve. You understand? When you give me 1 second. When you decide that you want to do any of these type of things, man, you whoring after another god, man. Because that's not what the Lord said to do. You know what I mean? You go on whoring after another god. When you decide you want to be with the other nations, man, you decide that you want to get you a Salaki, you want to get you a white girl or, you know what I mean, an Arab girl or, you know what I mean? Or rather, white, I would say rather Edomite girl or Caucasian girl. You know what I mean? You decided you want to do that, you whoring after another nation, bro, after another god. You understand? You said Salaki?
Wakanda, sir. See, that's why Isupk is the home of the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because in the Christian church, you know what I'm saying? Like with teen and all that stuff, like with being whore, like it's okay to be a whore. You know what I'm saying? But you see, like right here, like how I say about the Lord say being a whore, like any man know that if his wife whoring her, he gonna be real angry. You know what I'm saying? He gonna want some kind of, you know what I'm saying, something to be done about the situation. Just like with the Lord, when we whoring on the Lord, you know they're gonna make him angry. You know what I'm saying? But in Christian church, like it's some weird bit, like those that shit's just wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and that's damn right, man. You understand? And I will hope if you're a man and your woman whore on you, you know what I mean? She gonna be with another man. I will hope you don't get back with her. I will hope you leave her alone and you let her go, and that be that. I will hope that's what you do. You understand? I will hope that's what you do. You understand? But keep reading on that. Is that it? Keep reading on that.
Verse 17.
Yeah, verse 17. Judges 2:17.
But they went a whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord, but they did not so.
Right, you understand? When you don't obey the commandments of the Lord, you go whoring after other gods, man. You go and serving other nations. And that's why we're in the situation or the conditions that we're in, because when you decide to serve another nation, what happens? You end up becoming a second-class citizen, man. You understand? Because if you serving this nation, then obviously that nation is going to be over you. You're not going to never be equal to that nation if you decide to serve them. Just like for if anybody trying to save the oppressor or save these other nations, just because they follow us don't mean they're going to be equal to us. You know what I mean? You trying to find a way to give salvation to these other nations, but it's just like how it goes with them. You know what I mean? They want to follow, cool. They want to follow the book, the Bible. You know what I mean? They want to, you know what I mean? They want to find a way to where they can follow the Lord of the Bible. Cool. There's a way that they can do it. It'll be serving us, man. That's their way that they serve the Lord, by serving us, by being under us. You understand? You want to be you an Edomite, you another nation, and you want to, you know what I mean, find a way to serve the Lord. Come out there on camp and kiss our boots, man. You understand? That's your way to serving the Lord. Because by default, this is our book. This is our nation. This is our God. That's our God. You're going to be a second-class citizen, man. You understand? You'll be below us. You're not going to be equal to us. The same thing for us if we want to serve other nations, man. We're not going to be equal to that nation. We're going to find us being the working class while they just over us. They ruling over us, not doing nothing, while we doing everything. You understand? There's no such thing as equality. Equality does not exist. There's going to be a first-class citizen and there's going to be a second-class citizen. You understand? Give me let me precept this with Jeremiah 3:8. Give me Jeremiah 3:8. Precept this with Jeremiah 3:8.
Come. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 8. And I saw when all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away.
Right, read that from the top again and read it like, you know what I mean? Read that from the top again.
Come. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away.
Right, you understand? Now this is talking about when the kingdom split, you understand, to the northern tribe and the southern tribe. And it's called the northern tribe Israel. So this is when Israel decided to, you know what I mean, not serve the Lord. And they started setting up to themselves their own gods, their own graven images. The Lord seen it and put her away, man. You understand? That's what you're supposed to do if you got a woman that's out there whoring on you. Supposed to put her away. You understand? Keep going.
And giving her a bill of divorce.
Right, and giving her a bill of divorce, man. You understand? That's what the Lord did. Gave her a bill of divorce. I mean, it's like gave Israel a bill of divorce. That's a bill showing that they no longer together, man. You letting her go about her way and do whatever the hell she want to do. That's what you're supposed to do if a woman cheat on you, man. If a woman cheat on you, you send her away and you let her do whatever the hell she want to do. You understand? But you see how it's given the analogy of showing you this is like the Lord, you know, serving the Lord. It's like a woman cheating on you, man. You understand? That's how the Lord feels about that, man. You understand? Just like how you would feel if your woman cheated on you. But the Lord in the Lord condition is magnified. Keep going.
Come. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Right, and then the southern tribe, which was still with the Lord, end up doing the same thing, man. And what did it say that they did?
But went and played the harlot also.
Right, man. It's calling them being a harlot, man. You understand? You don't want to serve the Lord. You're being a harlot in the Lord's eyes, man. A whore. You understand? That when you decide that you want to leave the Isupk, you want to go smoke weed, you want to do whatever you're doing, you being a whore, man. You know what I mean? You whoring.
Right.
You're a harlot, man. You understand? This is a new flash. Not just women can be harlots and whores, man. You understand? Men can be harlots and whores too when you serving other gods, man.
Right.
You understand? When you not serving the Lord. You understand? Give me a Hosea.
Block you, sir.
Go ahead. Give me Hosea 3:1. Go ahead.
What you just said is so heavy. I'm beginning to connect all the dots to this beautiful book that we call the Bible, our records. When it said that that he gave the bill of divorce, right?
Right.
It took me back to Deuteronomy 28:15, where it say, "You will not hearken." He know that I know that you're not gonna listen to what I said, and I know you ain't gonna do what I said. So all these curses gonna come upon you.
Right.
So because we went whoring after the other gods, because we God put that thing on there for our own whoring.
Right.
So I don't want to be a hoe no more.
Right, man.
I'm like Raheem the Dream from the '80s. I don't want to be no hoe no more. I don't want to preach no more.
Right, man. You know what I'm saying?
I want to serve the Most High.
Right, man. And that's exactly right. You understand? You gotta understand the reason of why our woman is out there whoring is because men like whoring themselves. You understand? It's something that they learned, man. You understand? It's for men to take a role. You know what I mean? If men didn't like whores, then there wouldn't be none. You understand? If we wasn't whoring, then there wouldn't be no destruction. We wouldn't have these other nations over us, man. We wouldn't be in these conditions. You understand? You got that from me?
Con. The book of Hosea, chapter 3, verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress.
Right, read that from the top again.
Con. Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend.
Right, it says, then said that this talking to Hosea. And it said, the Lord said to him to go love a woman beloved of her friend. You understand? But yet an adulteress. The Lord told him to go love an adulteress. You understand? But we about to see what he compares it to. Keep going.
Con. Yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord towards the children of Israel.
Right, say what? Say that again.
Yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord towards the children of Israel.
Right, keep going.
Who look to other gods and love flagons of wine.
Right, who look to other gods, man. Just like that adulteress who like other men, it's the same as Israel who's looking for other gods. If you needed a precept to show that this is what it's talking about, this is your precept right here, man. It's showing you that a correlation to a woman being adulterous and loving other men and being with other men is the same as Israel going after other gods. It's the same as you serving, you know what I mean, other guys doing what you want to do. You thinking in your mind, you just smoking the blunt. Man, you being a whore to the Lord, man. You understand? You being disrespectful to your father, man. You understand? We got to understand how important it is that the Lord chose us. I'm paraphrasing. If somebody can find this verse for me, that'll be Tawab. I'm paraphrasing it. But it say, if the Lord was the God over the other nations, they would have followed him, man. You understand? You gotta understand how heavy that is. If any other nation was in our position, they would be serving the Lord like it's nothing. But it's because we so rebellious. You understand? We hard headed. We got to go through all this just to serve the Lord, man. Because another nation will understand how important it is for for the Lord to have chosen them. You understand? The Lord could have chose whoever he seen fit. The Lord could have chose the Arab man. He could have chose any of them. But he decided to choose us, man. You understand? We need to live up to that. That ain't nothing to just be, you know what I mean, lollygagging around. For the Lord to call the other nations spit, we could be that spit. But the Lord decided that he seen fit in his eyes that we should be the special people to him. So of course you're going to get punished, or we going to get punished if we decide that we don't want to serve the Lord. If we decide that we want to do something else other than what the Lord told us to do. That's disrespectful, man. That's like you telling your son to do something, but then somebody else's dad said that he can do it. And you said, well, Tony dad told me I can do it. Is Tony your dad or am I your dad? You understand? You will be disrespected by it. You gotta look at it from that standpoint to understand how severe it is. You understand? Read that from the top again.
Con. Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord toward the children of Israel, who look to other gods and love flagons of wine.
Now, what is it talking about what it said, and love flagons of wine? Is this saying that you can't drink wine? Well, let's look up.
Yes, sir.
Give me 1 second. Let's look up the word. Well, no, you can go ahead.
Is it live, sir? if we were looking up the word flagon, did you want the definition of the word flagon?
Yeah, it's lie, it's no, but yeah, look up the word flagons for me.
Cut, I have it, sir.
Go ahead.
Flagon. And this out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Flagon, a large container for wine.
Right, a large
It's
container.
where it's where bottle.
No, go ahead, read that from again, or read that again for me. Salaki.
Cut. Flagon, a large container for wine. Elsewhere, bottle.
Right, you understand? So a flagon is a large container to put the wine in. So we've been drinking out of large containers of wine. So now what is that talking about? Is that saying that we can't drink wine?
Lucky.
It's lucky, sir.
Napas was first. I'm gonna have Napas go first. Go ahead.
That means it don't mean you cannot drink wine, but if it be like a large container, that means you can't drink too much wine. Because it's a precept that's like being a drunkard. I know it's in Deuteronomy somewhere. If you drink too much of the wine, and you get drunken out of it, and you can't control your judgments, or it's gonna hard to. Yeah, you'll have a. I forgot the word for judgment. Do something too much. It cloud your judgment.
You're right. I mean, that's true, but that's not necessarily what it's talking about right here. But there is a, you know what I mean, you can't drink too much wine to where you drunk. You understand? But it also correlates or relates. Well, I'm not going to give it away. Somebody else says Salakia? Somebody else says Salakia?
Lucky, sir.
Go ahead.
It's not. It's saying again. When it's saying getting drunk, by using that wine metaphor, it's talking about getting drunk off the culture of the other nations, falling in love with what they got going on instead of falling in love with what the Most High got going on for you.
Right, you got a precept. You're right, but you got a precept now.
Salakia, sir, I don't have a precept.
Anybody got a precept to what he's saying? He's right. Anybody got a precept? There's a couple of precepts. There's one I'm looking for specifically, but there's a couple of them. He said that the wine is not talking about actual wine. You understand? It's a metaphor for talking about the practice or the of other cultures. You understand? Or sin.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
I may be wrong, but I want to say Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6 through 12.
6 through 12. Read it. Go ahead.
This is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heavens, saith Yahweh. Deliver thyself, Salakia. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. Verse 8. For thus saith the Yahweh of hosts, after the glory have he sent unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that Yahweh has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee. And thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto thee. And the Lord shall inherit Judah his portion, and the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again.
No, I wouldn't use that as a precept. Anybody else got a precept for it? There's multiple precepts that you can use. Nobody know a precept for it. A precept for we in he said what's the question again? We we was at Hosea 3:1, and it says how we was whoring out other gods and drunk flagons of wine. Now, the young man said that the wine is not talking about drinking physical wine or actual wine, which is true. It's talking about Drinking wine as in a metaphor for taking on the customs of other nations or taking on the sins of other nations. So I'm asking for a precept for what he said. Now the troopers got a precept? Carwan and Kaz? And Posh?
Oh, well, what were the words again? The paraphrase words again?
Drunken of wine? Give me I'm gonna give you one. Let me see if you can find the other one. I'm gonna give you one. Give me Isaiah 51 verse.
Salakia, sir.
Hold on, give me one. Go ahead, you said something?
Con out of one con. Hosea chapter 4, verse 11.
Read that. Go ahead.
This is Hosea chapter 4, verse 11. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart.
I wouldn't use that as a precept. It's more precepts that's more direct to showing you what it's talking about. You understand? Because that could be talking about, you know what I mean, actual wine. You know, so I wouldn't necessarily use that precept. There's some precepts that really gets right into what it's talking about. Give me Isaiah. I'm gonna start at verse. Give me Isaiah 51. Start at verse 17. Let me hear verse 17.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 17. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which had drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out.
All right, keep going.
Verse 18. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forward. Neither is there any that taken her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up.
Right, so this is saying that we done drunk of the fury of the Lord. From disobeying the Lord, you understand, we done drunk from the cup of the fury, meaning the punishments, you understand? It's talking about the punishments that have happened, that have came upon us because we decided to let the, hold on, give me 1 second, we decided to go against the Lord. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 19. These two things come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and a famine, and a sword, by whom shall I confront thee?
Right, comfort thee. But all these things is going to happen to us, right? All these things is happening to us now. You know what I mean? Famine, desolation, destruction, the sword we being killed and shot down in the streets. Who shall comfort us? Who shall help us out, man? The Lord asking us because ain't none of these nations is going to help us out. Only the Lord will be able to comfort us and help us out. Keep going. Verse 20.
Verse 20. Verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
Right, all these things is just the rebuke of the Lord that's happening to us. But now we're about to get into it. Give me that next verse, verse 21.
Verse 21. Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but were not with wine.
Right, it says, now here it is, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. So if we're not drunken with wine, then what are we drunk with? Go ahead.
The other nations' philosophies.
The other nations' philosophies, man. The other nations' cultures. The other nations' sins. That's why the Lord is rebuking us. You understand? Well, that's why it's talking about drinking of the flagoons of wine. It's talking about all the sins that we partaking in. You understand? All the other nations' doctrines that we doing. You understand? That's what it say right here. Read that verse again, verse 21.
Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
Right. So when it say drinking of the flagoons of wine, it's talking about other nations' customs, man. Other nations' doctrines. You know what I mean? That's you thinking that it's okay to be a homosexual because the oppressor legalized homosexuality in America. You know what I mean? You drunk off their wine, man. And it's not talking about physical wine. It's talking about being drunk off their doctrines, man. Anybody else got another precept for this? Another precept that I'm looking for. Probably going to be the last scripture I pull. Go ahead.
Is it Revelation 14:8?
Give me. It is in Revelations. Let me see. Read 14:8 for me.
Good con, that one con. Revelation chapter 14, verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
That's exactly what it's talking about, man. Now that's not the one I'm looking for, but that's exactly what it's talking about. Give me 1 second. You understand? All the nations is drinking of the wine of her fornication, man. That's talking about all the nations following America and partaking in the sins, man. It ain't talking about all the other nations actually drinking physical wine. You understand? It's talking about them taking on their culture. You understand? Exactly. It's like we wake up and do their culture. That's exactly right online, man. That's what it's talking about by being drunk of that wine. Somebody said Salakia?
Con, sir.
Go ahead.
Would it be Isaiah chapter 29 verse 9?
Well, just for time's sake, that's not the one I'm looking for, but for time's sake, we're going to go to Revelations 18 and 2. Give me Revelations 18 and 2.
Con. The book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and it's become the habitation of devils.
Right, keep going.
And the hold of every foul spirit, in a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Right, you understand? That's showing you that Babylon, which we know is America now, is the habitation of every foul spirit and unclean bird, man. You understand? That's talking about all the demons. You know what I mean? The word you can use is demons for it. That's in America. Because if you look in the Bible, you'll never see the word demon in the Bible. It's not written nowhere in the Bible. It calls them unclean spirits or foul spirits. You understand? But keep going.
Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Right. All nations have drunk of the wine of wrath of her fornication, man. That's what it's talking about in Hosea 3 and 1. Us drinking of the wine, the flagoons of wine, man. All the sins in these other nations teaching. Because we went after their gods. It's showing you that when you go after another, sinning is just simply going after another god, man. You understand? You drinking of their wine, you drinking of what they teaching, what they telling you that it's okay, rather than what the Lord is telling you okay. Skip down to verse 4.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plague.
Right, you understand? I mean, come out of her, my people. Now, a lot of people use this as the flea doctrine, which I would like to call it, which is saying, oh, you got to get out of America. You got to da-da-da-da-da. Why is this not talking about the flea doctrine? Anybody know? Why is this not saying, give me 1 second, why is this not saying to leave America, that you got to leave America? Go ahead.
Salaki, is it because, is it like, do it correlate with, Lord, not the world, nor the things in the world?
No, it's more simpler than that. I'm going to just give, for time's sake, oh, no, you got it? Go ahead.
Pretty much following America philosophies, do the sin what they do. And like the verse said, that ye be not partakers of her sins. there's like a spiritually, leave America, not physically get out the land.
Right. That's exactly what it's talking about. But just going to my question real quick, I'm paraphrasing, but you're not supposed to leave America because you can't escape the Lord's persecution. That's what they think in their mind. That you're going to be able to escape the Lord's persecution. That's why it's talking about spiritually, because it's as if they fled, they left or they fled. A bear and a lion came up upon them, something like that. I'm paraphrasing it, but for time's sake, it's not talking about actually leaving America, because anywhere you go, you going, you still got to deal with the Lord, the persecution. There's no way to escape what the Lord is going to do. You understand?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it talking about basically not removing yourself from the physical land, but remove yourself from the doctrine that the land teach?
Right, spiritually, like Nepal said, spiritually removing yourself from what they teaching, taking yourself out of their doctrines, out of what they tell you is right, and starting to serve the Lord. You understand? Don't be partakers of her sins, meaning you're not doing what they say is okay. Everything America say that they're okay is a sin, man. It's against the Lord. They don't tell you to actually serve the Lord. You know what I mean? So that's what it's talking about. I'm gonna wrap it up with this last verse. Give me Romans chapter 1, verse 25. Right, yeah, he said he didn't know demon was nowhere in the Bible. Yeah, if you look it up, demon is nowhere in the Bible. You won't see it. It calls it a foul spirit or unclean bird. That's what it's talking about. That's what it calls it in the Bible. Go ahead, Romans 1 and 25.
Come, the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
Right, who changed the truth of God into a lie? That's the oppressor, man. That's who did that. Go ahead.
And worshipped and served the creature more than the creator.
Right, this is talking about homosexuality specifically.
Right.
But you understand, who changed the truth into a lie? Served the creature than the creator, man. How do you serve the creature over the creator? What does it mean by serving the creature over the creator?
That means
Salakia.
You was gonna say something?
your call. I was gonna do like a precept off that, but I'm just gonna say the answer. You serving the other nations instead of the person who created you to do the laws, statutes, and commandments. And like kind of like a sidebar out of Job 9 verse 24.
That's right. You gonna say something too, Willie? You right. You gonna say something too, Willie, young man?
He pretty much said what I was gonna say.
Right. You serving the creature is you deciding that you gonna serve the oppressor more than serving the Lord, man. You understand? You gonna serve another God. Damn near Black, Hispanic, and Native American people put the oppressor up as they. Give me 1 second. Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans put the oppressor up as they gods nowadays, man. You understand? That's moving the Lord to jealousy, man. That's the reason why the Lord is allowing them to deal with us how they dealing with us. That's your God. Well, your God gonna do whatever the hell he want to do with it, and that's why the white man do whatever the hell he want to do with us, because we looking at him as he's God. You understand? We not serving the real God, the one true God, the Most High. We serving the oppressor, and that's why the oppressor is able to do whatever he wants to do to us. You understand? But you want to say something? You said Salakia?
Salakia, sir. I was gonna ask, like, with the answer the brother just gave, does that tie into with fearing the oppressor more than fearing the Most High?
Right, that ties into fearing them, because that's the reason why we serving the creature than the one who created it. You understand? Yeah, that does tie in, man. You understand? And that's foolish.
Salakia, sir.
That's foolish to do. You said something? Go ahead.
I was just thinking about what you just said when you were talking about serving the creature. The Most High created all men, everything that we have here on earth. He created all of it. And it said, who changed the truth into a lie? Well, when they painted Cesar Borgia, that was not the beginning, but it was the beginning of the end for them. That condemns them based on what I'm saying here in this verse we just read. No, there's no other race of people that has done what the oppressor has done. It's hard for me to say that. It's no other nation on earth that has done it the way this people have done it, and the way they have done it is the beginning. It was the beginning of their downfall, and to try try to keep it away from the people as far as the house of Israel, eventually people are going to wake up and find out, regardless of what they try to do. And as we wake up, they tremble, they shake. And where we used to be afraid, we have no need to be afraid anymore, because we know that the Most High is with us, and we figured out the truth is not what we've been told. And the lie that they changed into and told it as us the truth, it doesn't even matter no more. It's of ill effect, because the moment we wake up, the moment the life that we live ends.
And you damn right. You understand? Because the first requirement is to change, man. You understand? Once you realize this truth, you start to change, man. That's what the truth requires from you, to change. That's how you know it's the truth. You understand? But you damn right, man. You understand? And with that, anybody got any other questions before we close out class?
Salagia, sir.
Go ahead.
Was you was mentioning Samuel?
Yeah, for time's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and just. Yeah, we can bring it out. Give me I'm gonna bring it out, man. Give me what is it? 2 Samuel.
Salagia, sir, the water.
Yeah, no sweat. No, it's 1 Kings. Give me 1 Kings 18. Give me 1 Kings chapter 18.
Come. 18 verse.
18. Give me verse. Let me see. Read verse 38. Let's see what 38 says.
Come. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 38. Then the fire of the Lord fell.
All right, no, go before that. Give me try verse 33.
Come. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 33. And he put the wood in order and cut the bullock in.
Actually, this is gonna be long. Right, we gonna have to rush through this. Give me start at verse. We probably gonna go over time. Hey, it's us 2 hours. We about to go over time. Give me verse 22.
Come. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 22. Then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I only, remain a prophet of the Lord. But Baal's prophet are 450 men.
Right, you understand? Meaning, Elijah came. Now, this is a background story. Elijah came to the people. You know what I mean? When we were serving Baal, and he was the only prophet of the Lord. And Baal had 50 prophets, so he about to pretty much. He about to pretty much check them. And so he about to do something. It's about to be real funny. He about to do something to check them, to show them that the Lord is the only God. That's why I wanted to bring this out, because there ain't no other God that's beside the Lord, man. You understand? This scripture showing there's nobody besides the Lord. The Lord is the only God, man. You understand? He's the only, and that's why we shouldn't serve other nations' gods, because, like I said, it's for vanity. It's for vain. You understand? The Lord is the God of the living. Just like young man Willie said, why wouldn't you want to serve the God of the living rather than the God that can't do nothing? You understand? Keep going.
Come. Verse 23. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under.
Right. So he told them, you know what I mean, gather your prophets, and we about to do something. So he said, let therefore, give us 2 bullocks, 1 for them and 1 for me. And this is what we going to do. We going to dress it, you know what I mean, lay the wood under it. We going to put, and we not going to put no fire on it. So meaning we not about to burn this. You understand? We just going to put it up there and dress it up to be a sacrifice. Keep going.
Come. Verse 24. And call ye on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord, And the God that answered by fire, let him be God. And all people answered and said, it is well spoken.
Right. So he told them, once we do this, I'm gonna call on you gonna call on your God, and I'm gonna call on my God. You understand? And whatever God answer, let that God be let him be God. Whoever one answers. So if they call, he said, if y'all call on y'all God, and he answer, and he light this fire on this, then y'all gotta be God. But if I call and it don't, and if I call and the fire be lit on my God, you know what I mean, on mine, my bullock that I dress, then let mine be God. And then the people said, yeah, that sound like a bet. That sound like a deal. You know what I mean? So essentially, yeah, give me 1 second. Essentially, what he doing is he challenging them, man. He said, okay, y'all think but Baal is God? Okay, let's have a challenge. We're gonna see who is really God. You understand? Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. Like it seemed like a bet. You know what I'm saying? It to the part where it say, and all the people answered and said, "It is well spoken." Like right there, that part where it is well spoken. Like I bet.
Right. You know what I mean? That's like us. That's what I'm saying. The Bible is our language, man. This is how we talk. The same way how we talk is the same how they talked in the Bible. You know what I mean? It's just more modern, but it's slang. Yeah, them saying it is well spoken is like them saying that's a bet. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a bet. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Keep going though. Verse 25.
Come. Verse 25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose one bullock of yourselves, for yourselves, and dress it first. For ye are many, and call on the name of your gods. I put no fire under.
Right. So Elijah told them to call on their God. You know what I mean? You do it first. They said you dress your bullock first. You know what I mean? Dress it up, put it on there, and call on your many gods, and put no father on it. So Elijah's telling them to go first. Keep going.
Come. Verse 26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and they called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made.
Right, so they calling upon Baal, but ain't nobody answering. Ain't nothing happening. They morning to noon, Baal, you know what I mean? Going in. You understand? But nobody answered to where they leaped upon the altar that was made. They leaped on it, trying their best to get Baal the answer and do something for them. Go ahead.
Is it safe to say right here, like they getting bit mad, like they getting frustrated?
Yeah, they getting fucked. They trying to make sure it happen. They trying to prove their point. It's like it's nothing happening, and so they like, okay, let me hop on this altar. You gonna see what they do next. But they trying to force it. Like they trying to make something happen. They starting to get. You know what I mean? They getting frustrated, but I wouldn't say to the point where like, you know what I mean? They get mad, but they trying to, you know what I mean? Earnestly make something happen. You understand? But nothing is happening. Keep going.
Come. Verse 27. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God.
Right, stop right there. Now this is the funny part. Elijah's seen this. You know what I'm saying? This is how we gotta be when other people try to bring their gods to us. We gotta see their God and mock them, man. You understand? That's what Elijah did. Elijah mocked them and said and cried aloud and said, it is a God. You know what I mean? He seen that. That's just like a nigga too, right? That's just like a black man. You know what I mean? You see nothing going on. It is a God. You know what I mean? Being sarcastic. Like look at these fools. Ain't nothing happening. They think that this is their God. You know what I mean? They sitting there crying out the ball and nothing happening, man. Look at these clowns, man. That's how Elijah did it, man. That's how you know that the Israelites is black. You understand? They say, cry aloud. It is a God. Keep going.
Con. Neither is he talking.
It says either.
Either is he talking.
He is talking.
Either he is talking.
Right. Then it started to go. Elijah started to mock them further. He said, He is talking. Like his guy is talking. The reason why he's not answering them is because he's talking. He busy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I guess that God is talking. I guess he ain't got time to set this on fire because he's talking. Keep going.
Or he is pursuing.
Or he is pursuing. Maybe he pursuing something. He going after something. That's why he ain't. It's a God, man. He pursuing. Don't worry about it. He pursuing. That's the reason why he ain't lighted. It's all right. Keep going.
Nor he is in a journey.
Or he is on a journey, man. He is in a journey. I mean, oh no, he just taking a trip. He ain't answering y'all because he's taking a trip, man. Elijah is cutting him, man. He mocking. He laughing at him, man. He laughing at him. Look at these clowns, man. Maybe your guy's on the journey. That's why it ain't nothing happening. Keep going.
Or pre-adventure, he slept.
Or pre-adventure, he is sleep. He sleepeth, man. He's saying, oh, maybe your God is asleep. That's how these other nations. This is how we should be looking at these other nations' gods, man. They can't do nothing. You understand? They can't do nothing. They can't do what the Lord can do. You understand? Keep going.
And must be awake.
Right. Maybe their God is sleeping, and you need to wake your God up for him to actually do something. You understand? He joking on them, man. He know that they God can't do nothing. You understand? That's why he clowning their ass. Salaki, keep going. Read verse 28.
Come. Verse 28. And he cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushes out upon them.
Right, and now they got so mad that they started to cut themselves and bleed onto it. You know what I mean? You know how people cut you see all type of movies and stuff where they cutting their wrists and putting blood into it as a witchcraft, as they summoning something. You know what I mean? That's what they was doing in the Bible, man. Cutting the blood and thinking that they blood, the Lord was going, that Baal was going to take their blood and do whatever the hell he wanted to do with them. You know what I mean? That's how mad they got. They start cutting themselves and bleeding on a damn bullock, man. You know what I'm saying? Some clown shit. Slocky. Keep going.
Come. Verse 29. And it came to pass, when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice or any to answer, or any that regarded.
Right, all that they did, nothing happened, man. There was nothing that happened. Everybody, all the people, you got to understand, all the people around looking at this too. Seeing them do all this stuff and nothing happened. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 30. And Elijah said unto the people, unto all the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him. And he repaired the altar of the Lord was broken down.
Right, you understand? Keep going.
Verse 31. And Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be thy name.
Right, and now just for time's sake, he pretty much just dressed the bullock up. It's his turn now. They done already did theirs, nothing happened. The next verse is talking about how he just built the altar, you know what I mean, put the bullock on it, dressed it up, did the certain thing to do for it to be a worthy sacrifice to the Lord. So jump down to verse 36.
Verse 36. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day thou art God in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word.
Right, so he telling them the Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, let him be God, man. You understand? And that he is the Lord's servant doing all the works by God's hand, man. He's about to show them who's the real God in the earth, man. The God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand? That God that's of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is not the God of everybody. You have to be from that line to be for that to be your God. You understand? You can't just be from Abraham. You can't just be that which is talking about Ishmael. No, that's not your God, man. You can't just be from Isaac, which is talking about Esau. No, that's not your God, man. You got to be from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's why he put the 12 stones on there for the offering, showing you that this is the God of Israel, man, and not nobody else. You understand? No, this is not the God of the whole world, of only these 12 tribes. Keep going.
Verse 37. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord God, and that thou hast turned their heart black. Back again.
Right, you understand? Showing them, telling the Lord, you know what I mean? Let these people know that you are the Lord. Keep going.
Verse 38. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench.
Right. So once Elijah did it, once Elijah did it, the sacrifice, the bullet came on fire. It lit on fire. You understand? He just said some words. He praised the Lord, told the Lord to show these people that you are the Lord, and the sacrifice took fire, man. It started to burn up, showing you that only the Lord can do that. Ain't no other God that we want to go out and serve can do that. Shiva can't do that for you, man. Allah cannot do that for you, man. Jesus, who they call Jesus, that Caesar Borgia, he can't do that for you, man. Only the Lord can do that. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 39. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the Lord, he is the God. The Lord, he is the God.
Right, you understand? When people saw that, they knew that the Lord was the God, man. Who Elijah was worshiping, that's the real God, man. You understand? Who the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans God is, that's the real God, man. You understand? Ain't no point of us serving another God. You got to serve the Lord, man. You understand? The Lord is the only one that can do things like that. But with that, anybody got any questions or comments? That was the last verse on that. All right, no questions or comments. I'm going to go ahead and close out the social media, Facebook and YouTube class. Y'all about me outside, brakatha to the brothers. Y'all shema about me outside to the sisters. Close that out. And I'm going to pass the class off to